What's going on, guys?
Welcome back to another video.
We have really good news. So as you guys know or may not know, we did a video a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, saying how Janice had to get a biopsy for her endometriosis situation going on, right? We mentioned that she's gonna need a second surgery and all that good stuff and yada yada yada. But we needed to do the biopsy first just to make sure there was no blockages inside of the uterus, right? That's what that is? Okay, so we know what's on the outside of the uterus. You got the endometrioma and you know, cysts and all that good stuff. So he wanted to check the inside, make sure there's no blockages, infections, polyps, all that good stuff, cancer, God forbid. And it came back.
There's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah. She came out completely normal. Well, tell him what the doctor said. Give him the whole rundown. Let's not just...
Honestly, I feel like you know all the information, so you could say it.
Oh, I was listening to everything he said. I was taking it all in, like
guys,
yeah.
He literally is like a human encyclopedia.
Who?
You.
Why?
Cause like you retain information so well.
I have to, especially when it comes to you.
For me, there's always so many spots in my memory because I'm always just like dazed out. But I feel like...
No, I take mental notes. Like, especially like when they be like, oh, you have any questions? I'd be like, yes. Here are my questions. And I give them a list.
And then me, I'm just so nervous by just like the conversation that sometimes I like black out and I don't really remember anything that's discussed.
Nah, so we actually talked with the doctor one-on-one, and he basically told us that the results were completely normal. Everything looks great. For someone her age, everything looks the way it should be. We can go on and talk about the surgery. That was the next step. So for the surgery, we haven't booked that yet, but the surgery, he said he's gonna do XYZ, which was basically clean up everything that she has down there, the tissue, the cyst, everything that's there. He needs to completely get it squeaky clean. He said he's also going to look up into her diaphragm. He's going to be checking her liver. He's going to be checking her appendix. He's going to be checking everywhere that he can, just to make sure that there's no endometrioma, anything, you know, of the sorts up there.
Oh yeah, and my bladder, which is really important because that's the most pain I experience. Like, it's to the point where, like, say like I'll cough or like I'll laugh really hard, like I will literally tickle myself. It's the worst.
It's so crazy.
It's the worst.
That's so crazy. He said the only thing that he couldn't touch or, you know, interfere with or anything like that, if there is like tissue on it, is the intestines, because he said technically you're supposed to cut that piece of the intestine out. He's like, we're not doing that. That's not his realm. He don't deal with that. So I don't think you're gonna have an issue with that though. I think everything that you're dealing with is pretty much down south. But he said that he's gonna go ahead, clean up everything, get everything squeaky clean, check the diaphragm, like I said, liver, appendix, bladder, make sure there's nothing going on there, make sure everything is where it needs to be. And then he said he's also going to do the dye test, which is basically shooting a diluted dye through the tubes and make sure that they come out the other end. He said that if there is any type of tissue on the tubes and it's causing the dye not to go through, he can remove that tissue or the cyst that's on top of the tube. But he said if it's inside the tube, you basically, long story short, you got to take that tube out because it's going to cause problems down the line.
If there's blockages, like it's not even allowing the dye to go in at all, then he said to leave it because it won't cause any problems. But if it can go all the way throughout the tube, then he said to remove that, because in that case it's gonna send fluid right back and it can cause infections and inflammation, and that's just something you want to avoid if you want to get pregnant.
We don't need that. So then when he said that if we, God forbid, have to remove one of the tubes because they're not working, I asked if she can still get pregnant with only one tube. He said yes. He said obviously it's going to be a little more difficult because you only have one rather than two.
Yeah, and the way ovulation works is like you ovulate through one and then the other the next cycle. Right. So it's like you
go left and right. Yeah. It's like how she said, a cycle.
But yeah, he did tell me that a decision needed to be made in that moment, whether we want to remove the tubes or I wake up from the surgery and we have that discussion. But I talked to Isaiah. Isaiah was like, it's your body, you know, like, do whatever you want. And I said, yeah, I would want to take out the tube because, like, I don't want an infection, you know what I mean? And it's like, if it's causing more harm than good, I want it out.
Right.
So that's pretty much what we agreed with. So God forbid I do have to remove a tube, he's gonna remove it before I wake up.
It just makes more sense. If it's no good, then why leave it? You know what I mean? Like if it's just there and it's just taking up space, just take it out.
Yeah.
But obviously I left the choice up to her because it's her body, her choice. But again, we are doing this obviously for the sake of her health. So if it's something that's going to cause issues down the line, it would make sense to just remove it. So we basically gave the doctor the go ahead. Like if it comes to that point and you see that the tube isn't working the way it should, take it out. But you know, God forbid it doesn't get to that point. I feel like you're completely fine. I just feel like you have trouble with the fertility part because of it's like, guys, it's a mess down there. There's a lot of tissue. The cysts are obviously forming, so it's making it hard.
Everything's super cluttered and stuck together too. So
everything's inflamed and tight. That's
what it is.
Yeah, and you know, who knows? It could be me. I still have to get myself tested. But either way, she needs to get this done because it's affecting her day-to-day health. It's not easy. It's painful. It's uncomfortable. So no matter what, that has to get done. This isn't just for fertility. This is for her actual day-to-day health. But that was pretty much it. I think the only questions we asked the doctor were like, what's the recovery gonna be like? And he pretty much said like 2 weeks until you're healed, but he said if you feel good, you can do whatever you want. That's pretty much what he said. Just listen to your body and, you know, go based off of that. Last
surgery, I just felt like for a long time my bladder was just like it wasn't the best, and I think it took me a long time to work out because any little thing would just like bother my bladder. Hopefully, like, since everything's gonna be checked, I have a really good feeling about this upcoming procedure. I'm just ready.
You gonna come out living your best life.
Yes, that's my goal. Like, my goal is for all my inflammation to go away. Hopefully I can just like feel like myself again.
I can't wait to get you pregnant.
Bruh, I want to at least like enjoy like a few months of just feeling like normal. And
it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
this is gonna be crazy. 2025, we off to it was a little bit of a weird start, but it's starting to look bright as time goes on, and that's just, you know, keeping faith and all that good stuff. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Our doctor's visit, that was that's the update. Everything came back great, thank God, and we are moving on to the next step, which is the surgery, which we haven't booked yet, but
so excited.
Yeah, which is weird to say you're excited for a surgery.
I know, but
it's because of the outcome you're gonna get.
Yeah, I just remember how good I felt. Guys, you have no idea, like instantly I felt my body's like change. It's so crazy how fast, like it glow. Like, I felt like I was glowing fresh out of my surgery.
Yeah, you were like super like less inflamed all over your body. Yeah. One thing we did mention right before we ended the conversation with the doctor was I did say her first surgery, she had complications with her oxygen or something like that during surgery.
I don't think we told them that.
Yeah, so she had oxygen issues her first surgery. Basically, when they were taking like the oxygen hoses or whatever off of her, her lungs needed to like, basically they needed to kick back on their own, and they were like struggling a little bit. So he was just like pretty much like, we'll handle that. We'll give her like our Buterol, which is to like open up the lungs, and then we'll go ahead and take the oxygen off and all that. He was like, that way her lungs would be open and they'll be working. So he said just bring that up again to the anesthesiologist the day of, but he was like pretty much saying like, we got that covered. So I'm going into this very, what's the word,
hopeful?
Not hopeful, confident, I guess, because of the doctor the doctor that's doing it. He's very knowledgeable, very on point with his stuff, and he's also like really funny. He's pretty cool
and very confident.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. He knows what he's doing, so that makes us feel so much better. But is there anything else you want to say? I'm
praying that the date that they give me is soon.
Hopefully we'll see.
But yeah,
everything's in God's timing, so whatever happens But yeah, guys, that's our update with the whole fertility journey and Janice's health. You guys know we always keep you guys in the loop. But with all that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Drop your comments down below, and we'll see you on the next one.